Do you really miss your ex? If you've ever found yourself longing for someone who's no longer in your life, replaying memories, rereading messages, romanticizing the connection, this video is for you. Because what you're feeling may not be what you think. This video will help you understand the deeper psychological forces behind romantic longing, including projection, emotional identity, and the illusion of fusion. Drawing from the work of Carl Jung, Erich Fromm, and modern neuropsychology, we'll explore how relationships shape our sense of self and how heartbreak often reflects a loss of identity more than a loss of love. By the end, you'll gain clarity on why you feel so emotionally destabilized after a breakup, how your longing may be rooted in self-displacement, not genuine connection, what it means to reclaim the version of yourself that felt alive in love, how to begin healing through individuation and emotional integration. This is not just insight, it's emotional liberation. Carl Jung taught that relationships are mirrors. We don't fall in love with people as they are. We fall in love with what they reflect back to us. This is the psychology of projection, the unconscious act of assigning our own traits, desires, and wounds onto another person. In romantic relationships, projection is especially potent. We see in our partner the qualities we long to embody: confidence, warmth, spontaneity, safety. When they leave, it feels like those qualities leave too. But they were never theirs. They were yours, waiting to be reclaimed. Jung believed projection is a necessary stage in psychological development. But healing begins when we withdraw our projections and integrate what we've been outsourcing. So when you say, "I miss them," ask, what part of me did they reflect? What version of myself felt most alive in their presence? Modern psychology adds another layer: neurochemistry. When we fall in love, our brains release oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin, chemicals that create feelings of bonding, pleasure, and emotional safety. These chemicals don't just make us feel good, they shape our sense of self. We associate the emotional state with the person who triggered it. But when the relationship ends, the chemical crash feels like emotional death. We're not just missing the person, we're missing the internal state they activated. This is why heartbreak feels like identity loss. Because it is temporarily. We've outsourced our emotional aliveness to someone else. Now it's time to bring it back. A German-American social psychologist, Erich Fromm, in The Art of Loving, warned that most people don't seek love, they seek fusion. They want to merge with another person to escape the burden of individuality. Fusion feels intoxicating. We feel completed, validated, whole. But it's not sustainable and it's not love. Fromm believed that true love requires individuation, the process of becoming whole within yourself. Only then can you love without losing yourself. When we miss someone, we often miss the fusion, the feeling of being emotionally merged. But that feeling is a temporary illusion. Real love begins when we can hold on to ourselves, even in connection. Many people enter relationships with a fragmented sense of identity. They don't know who they are until someone reflects it back. We become the fun one, the sexy one, the deep one. Not because we chose it, but because they saw it. And when they leave, we feel like those parts disappear. But they don't. They were always yours. They just need your permission to return. This is the emotional work, to reclaim the parts of yourself that you outsourced to someone else's gaze. Jung also emphasized the role of the inner child, the part of us that longs to be seen, held, and chosen. When someone makes us feel special, it activates that child. We feel safe. We feel wanted. We feel home. But if we haven't healed our early wounds, we confuse that activation with salvation. We think they're the answer. We think they're the parent we never had. We think they're the proof we're lovable. And when they leave, the child panics. Not because the adult lost a partner, but because the child lost a lifeline. This is why heartbreak feels so primal. It's not just romantic. It's ancestral. Psychologist Antonio Damasio explored how emotional memory shapes identity. We don't just remember events. We remember how we felt during them. And when someone evokes a powerful emotional state, we attach our identity to that feeling. You don't miss their personality. You miss the emotional state they activated in you. This is why we romanticize toxic relationships. Not because they were good, but because they made us feel something we hadn't felt in years. But here's the truth: you can feel that way again. Not through them, but through you. The role of fantasy and idealization. Psychodynamic theory also points to idealization, the tendency to inflate someone's qualities to meet our emotional needs. We don't just miss the person. We miss the fantasy. We remember the best moments. We forget the emotional cost. We cling to the illusion because it's safer than facing the void. But healing requires reality. It requires seeing the relationship as it was, not as we needed it to be. Only then can we begin to reclaim the parts of ourselves we projected onto the fantasy. So what do we do with this ache? We stop chasing the ghost. We stop romanticizing the mirror. We stop waiting for someone else to bring us back to life. Instead, we ask, what part of me came alive in that relationship? What did I believe about myself when I was with them? What am I ready to reclaim without needing their presence? This is the work of emotional liberation. Not forgetting them, but remembering yourself. A new kind of healing. Healing isn't about erasing the past. It's about integrating it. It's about saying, I loved who I was with them and I choose to be that person again. It's about realizing that the version of you they awakened is not gone. It's buried, and it's waiting for your permission to rise. This is where our 30-day to authentic love and emotional liberation program begins. Not with blame, not with bitterness, but with the brave decision to come home to yourself. If this video stirred something in you, please give us a like. If you've been chasing ghosts, romanticizing mirrors, or grieving the version of yourself that felt alive in love, then it's time to begin to heal. Healing isn't a quick fix. It's a psychological initiation, a daily unraveling of illusion, a reclamation of emotional truth, and a return to wholeness. Across 4 transformative weeks, you'll move through the deconstruction of romantic myths and emotional dependency, the discovery of your patterns and projections, the rebuilding of boundaries, self-worth, and emotional maturity, the embodiment of conscious love and emotional sovereignty, the integration of shadow, inner child wounds and individuation, the rewiring of nervous system. This is not surface-level self-care. It's deep emotional excavation. It's the kind of healing that doesn't just soothe, it transforms. You'll reclaim the parts of you you've disowned. You'll rebuild relationships from truth, not trauma. You don't need to be chosen. You don't need to be fixed. You need to come home and to be your true self. If this video resonates with you, please subscribe our channel for more insightful videos. Thank you so much for your watching. See you soon.